At ease, brothers. Got a quick question, man. And this question stems from a conversation that me and my brothers had last night in the power circle, man. And it's talking about, I'm talking about you and your greatness, right? You and your greatness. What did you do in 2026 that required you to trust God fully, or you would fail? What did you do in 2026 that requires you to trust God fully, and if God didn't show up, you would fail completely? You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one thing we have to start doing, man. Let me take a seat right here, man. I hope it ain't too loud. I gotta get back in there and get back to work, man. This is the thing. Like, at some point, we have to get past the chanting and the bead counting and the altar praying and all these beautiful things we partake in. At some point, it's kind of loud over here, brothers. At some point, we got to get past all of that and start testing these things we talk about, or start actually walking with source energy. So I'm asking you, what did you do in 2026? What have you done in the last 90 days that if God didn't show up, you would fail completely? Like, your life would pretty much be destroyed. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, you really aren't living life until you're living life on that level where you trust God like that. When you trust God like that. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about a few things last night, because last night our conversation was about like men that, like, I think we called it anyway, we're talking about men that win and men that don't. Like, what's that determining factor? What's that common denominator, or those common denominators between men that always win and the men that don't? You know what I'm saying? And I'll just say this. One of those things was, and I'll share this. One of those things was most people, if they can't see the road fully from start to end, most men won't even go down that path. Like most men have the gonads to at least dare to think. Not all men, but a lot of men have the gonads to dare to think outside of the box and say, you know what, nobody in my family, nobody in my bloodline has ever done this. At least I can entertain the thought. A lot of men get there, especially nowadays with social media and YouTube. You can see everybody, but a lot of men won't go past that because they can't see the final destination. Or all they'll see are the barriers. All they'll see are the roadblocks. You know what I'm saying? All they see are the vices they have to get rid of, and they'll stop right there. Like, before we get into anything deeper, man, like, most men stop right there, bro. And like I was telling my brothers last night, I said a lot of people think that success is a yellow brick road, when it really is not a yellow brick road. It's a path of darkness. It's a path of trial and tribulations, man. Like a lot of people try to make it seem like moving in a new direction, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a health journey, whether it's a spiritual journey, whatever it is, whatever your next level is. A lot of people try to make it seem like things are easy. And in time, some things do become easier. But that road is never highlighted in a yellow brick road. That road is always going to be the gauntlet. It's always going to be the mud, and a lot of men know that. And since they can see that, they won't even try. You know what I'm saying? But like what we were talking about last night, and a lot of the bullet points we got from Robert Collier's work. Like, what a lot of men don't understand is that those obstacles, those trials, like those are that's the fuel for men that win all the time. Or that's the fuel for men that are always moving forward. Like, they understand, like certain men understand, and I'll say this, like I was telling my brothers last night, everybody ain't built for this. You gotta be a certain kind of man to say, you know what, I have my vision created, I have a destination, and I'm moving forward. Like, me and my brothers, we can get on a call every Sunday and talk about that stuff, and it's nothing. And we can talk about our victories. We can talk about our wins. We can talk about our successes. We can talk about the trophies and accolades and degrees. We can talk about this on a regular basis. But I said, brothers, y'all gotta understand, this is not normal conversation. This is not normal conversation, man. So you gotta be built different, man. But like I was saying, like a lot of men understand that this is just part of the process. Like understanding that there will be roadblocks and challenges. A lot of men understand that, hey, this is just part of the game. And without these things, the game is not even entertaining. You know what I'm saying? You got to be out of your mind, man. You have to be out of your mind to think that once you start on your journey, it's going to be a cakewalk. I'm gonna tell you that I've talked to a lot of brothers that have a lot of wins. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there are certain common denominators I see in every single one of those brothers. There are certain common denominators I see in every one of those men and a few sisters that I've worked with. You know what I'm saying? And that first one is just being able to see those barriers and moving forward, man. You gotta be a man that's all about moving forward by any means necessary. By any means necessary. You know, and I can sit here and say this, man, and it almost sounds crazy for me to say that, because I thought that was just a standard way for men to move, but it's not. You know, I get to talking to my brothers every week, man, and I kind of forget that we move a lot. We move a little different. And I'm telling brothers that I'll say this. I'm talking to brothers that are scratching their head. When you say, hey man, I get online, or my partners or the people I work with, they're always winning. But I can never get past that. I can never get to that point. Like, what am I doing different? I'm gonna tell you, brother. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of it is just movement, man. A lot of it is just movement, brothers. A lot of it is just looking at those barriers and saying, I don't care. And saying, I really... Oh, God. Hold on one second, brothers. All right, brothers, so I'm not gonna make this a long video. All I'm saying is, and this is really the nuts and bolts of what I want to talk about. At some point, you got to get past the shucking and the jiving. At some point, you got to get past what we consider to be, or what we call, the worship. You know what I'm saying? The going to the venues, the altar calls, the beads, the reciting of surahs, the whole shebang. At some point, you got to get past that, and first off, understand that that's not even the worship. You gotta understand that's not even the worship, bro. I believe that's when the lights begin to come on. When you understand that all those things are beautiful things, but they aren't the worship. Like once you understand that the worship is the actual work, all doors are opened up, bro. All doors are opened up. Once you understand that the worship is the work, all doors are opened up. Which means this. All that's required to move forward, all that's really required to accomplish your goals is movement and consistency. Yeah, you gotta get knowledge. You might have to go get some certifications. Yeah, you might have to watch a few YouTube videos. You might have to read a few books. You might have to rub elbows with a few people to get certain knowledge. But all that is movement. You picking up the phone to call your partner to ask him, hey man, how did you start that YouTube? How did you start that YouTube channel again? What do I need to start this barbershop? How do I get accepted into this college again? How do I build this app? Tell me again. That's work, bro. That's work. And I'm gonna tell you this: as long as you wake up every single day and you're putting in some form of work, bro, I'm gonna tell you, the path will be enlightened, brothers. The path will be enlightened. I put this on everything. I put it on everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about movement. Like, and I'm not sitting here, y'all know I'm not sitting here talking as if I'm some guru that's figured life out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not some guru that's figured life. Like I will forever be a student in the game. I will forever have myself on the bottom of the totem pole. That's where I want to be. So I'm always learning. But I'm gonna tell you this. soul is always moving. I'm always moving, man. I don't always have the right answers. I don't always make the right turns. I don't always make the right decisions, but I'm always moving. And when I see I've made a left turn when I should have made a right, I just back up a little bit and recalibrate, man. And right my wrongs and do, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta keep moving, bro. As long as you keep moving, you're gonna win. As long as you keep moving, you're going to win, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, man. And one thing that when I say it's a beautiful thing, this is what I mean. One thing that me and my brothers are always talking about in the circle, man, is like just how this game of life is built. Like how this game of life is built, meaning once you get past the initial phase of being lost in the sauce and being trapped in the you know, the mindset of the world. Let me just say it like this. Once you understand that all the things put in place that try to convince us that we're not in control of what our life is doing. Once you get past that and understand that you're fully in control, life starts lifing then, man. And you really understand that, man, you know what? Like as good as we say that God is, God really, I know it's loud out here, man. I hope y'all can hear me. You say to yourself, man, like God really built this thing in a manner that if I want to win, I can win. Like, yeah, we might have different color skins and people think that the man is doing this and I grew up on this side of the tracks and man, I wish I was born in this country and America is great and Thailand is the bomb and I wish. You can have all those things, man. Once you understand how God made this thing, bro, you're like, to be honest, you're like, you know what? It don't matter where I started. Because I can end up wherever I want to end up. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand how this game is made, and I'm not saying I have it figured out. Because I believe we can live to be 100,000 years old and we still only scratch the surface on the knowledge that's available to us, man. But once you understand the basics, life becomes fun, man. Life becomes fun, man. So all I'm saying is, let me get back here and get back to work, bro. All I'm saying is, at some point we got to get past the normal of our connection to God. You know, I'm not saying we should stop going to Jumaine church and all that stuff, but understand that's just the initial phase of your connection to source. Your true connection to source is when you start putting the work in. Your true connection to source is when you put yourself in situations where you have to win because of that source. You know what I'm saying? Once you start moving like that, brothers, it's ball game. It's ball game. At that point, you won't care what's said when the news comes on. You won't care about no wars and rumors of wars. You won't care about what the dollar is doing compared to the baht. You won't care about the prices of strawberries raising up and tomatoes going sour early in the season. My brother, that's my brother back there. That's my brother. You won't care about none of that stuff, man, because you'll be one with source energy. You'll be one with God. You'll be living life in the image, man. Life is good, brother.